That's the end of the world. Does it really matter? There I am. No, I'm still out of focus. What the hell?
There you go. Yeah.
It's a great way to start a live. Hi, guys. Oh.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's still... Huh.
What is wrong with my camera? Is it No, I'm not. It's alright. Whatever. I'll just go to focus. It's fine.
There you focused. As
There
soon
you
as
go.
you stopped
See?
trying, it cared. Of
Hi,
course
guys.
it did. Hello, Stuart. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Not the best day, but this will hopefully be a brighter part of the day. Right, some Star Warsiness.
Yeah, it might be one of our last Mandalorian reviews too, by the looks of things.
Oh, Stuart, do tell.
Well, there's just no love for Star Wars stuff, it appears. We've been reviewing... I mean, our Mandalorian reviews this season have been less than stellar as far as attendance and participation goes. Our Star Wars live on the weekends is the same thing. My first reaction last night was like almost nobody... I mean, it could just be a coincidence that nobody showed up. So...
Sure. But
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
But as we know, we specifically do... what is interesting. It doesn't make sense to make content for only 50 people unless all those 50 people are super chatting like 100, 200 bucks each. You know what I mean? Or like, yeah.
Well, the fact is, last year we weren't sure if we were going to do these, and then we, said if you guys got to show your love for the Mandalorian, and you guys really did. You came through, and it was very well attended, each one. This season, though, there's just nobody, and it's like, what the hell? It's a wasteland. Like, there's tumbleweeds rolling through YouTube land right now.
Which is weird because, I mean, same shows last year. You would think there'd be a year more of people to be energized by it. But yeah.
List of Jericho says Survivor Series was on last night. That's why. I don't think we have that many wrestling fans. Sorry.
But if you're a wrestling fan, let us know.
Well, obviously he is.
Yes.
Jericho. I mean, like...
Yeah.
All right. Ahsoka Tano is next episode 5 with Dave Filoni directing. Ooh, so it's worth doing that one for sure.
Yes. Well, I will start sharing, and hopefully we'll have some people when I get back. Oh.
Yeah. Everybody hit that like button if you haven't already. We got 44 people watching with 31 likes. Let's get those likes up. They're really important. Also, if you want to super chat, your comment, question, thoughts about this episode, there are a few questions that arose near the end there about the genetics and what's in the tanks, and then also at the end with the row of like dark troopers. So if anybody has any insight on that, feel free to let us know. Super chats are a great way to do so because we do read them on the air. If you can, please consider doing so. Also, there's other ways to support the channel via joining the channel, Patreon. I'm trying to think of the other ways. Oh, PayPal. PayPal is a good one. If you PayPal, just let us know in the chat that you've PayPal'd, and we will read the comment or question via the PayPal email. And yeah, check out the Teespring store as well. Lots of great ways to support the channel and help us out. So if you can, please consider doing so. We'd really, really appreciate it. And also hit that like button. Share this around to Star Wars fans. That's something I didn't do again today. God damn it. Maybe another reason. Haven't been sharing it in Star Wars groups. Yeah, well.
But you guys have been enjoying our Discovery-based content. We know a lot of you have been tuning into the analyses, and I'm glad to see that the yesterday's, as Trekyards would do, and of course we did a full detailed breakdown of the new Discovery A, and we're going to talk about that live at some point, so tune in for that. But glad you guys enjoyed that. Certainly nice to see, the anticlimactic live and then the really, really positive pre-recorded. It's like, yeah. Got 1 out of 2. Yeah.
The Sporkmeister says, definitely not the easiest to watch live when I'm still at work in the Western U.S. Yeah, well, Unfortunately, this is our regular live time. It's good for both of us. It's 10 p.m. for Samuel is and 5 p.m. for me. So
And it's also one of
we
those things that we've had the same, or we have, we know we've had like 900 people at this time before.
Oh yeah.
So it's not as if it's not the time, even though obviously somebody would like to go. It's just the topic doesn't grab certain people, which is fine. Hey, no, not judging. We all have only a certain amount of time to do. But we certainly expect a Mandalorian to be more engaged, more than last year. And it's been actually certainly less than last year. And might just people just don't care this year. I certainly it's gone down from the season opener. That kind of started strong and it's kind of gone down. So yeah, maybe put it on interested in Mandalorian as much this year.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it has to do with like the fandom menace. Like people are just they don't care about Star Wars anymore, or they're not. I don't know if they're not pushing it as much.
Well, I don't think they are.
People just don't realize that it's on. I don't know. It's
weird.
weird.
You'd think in the pandemic, people would be eager for content, and Star Wars. I mean, it used to be a brand of huge respect. Not quite so much anymore. But Stuart, we can start about now though. 55 people. Do super chat if you want to have a conversation heard. But I do legitimately want to know what you think of this episode. So let's talk about that. So episode 12 or chapter 12 or well, it's the same thing, but whatever it's actually called. What's it actually called?
The Siege.
It's not. They're not really a siege in it though. I was confused by that. I was waiting for, because I knew it going in, but I was just like, so, they're never a siege.
Yeah, seems like the base would be the siege part, but there wasn't really much going on there as far as I
guess they were sieging, but it was more an assault. A siege is a different connotation.
Yeah.
So Stuart, what do you think of Mandalorian season 2 episode 3 or season 0 episode 12?
Chapter 12, not episode 12. I really enjoyed it. This was kind of the most action-packed one this season for sure. Seeing Cara Dune and Apollo Creed, whatever his name is, back was
Mr.
great.
Director.
Yes. So yeah, there's some fun stuff in here, and inclusion of the Imperial transport that we saw in the season 1, which was originally a toy, which is now canonized, which is really cool. It was fun as well. And then the TIE fighter chase and speeder bike chase through the cavern again. But it seemed like a lot of repeated stuff like last week. There was a lot of shooting stormtroopers in hallways, and same with this week. And then the chase was fun enough, I guess, but it's getting a little bit repetitive. And honestly, stormtroopers need to smarten the hell up. Like, they're the most useless, and their armor, one blast and they're done. Like, you should be able to get hit a few times before you're down.
Especially as this is post Jedi, we'd think they'd equip them with slightly better armor because they already lost. To give them a better edge. Although you might want to read Bill Barclay's comment a couple ago.
Oh, are you going to discuss the Star Wars Lego Holiday Special? We did a whole live on that on Sunday that like nobody turned up for. Might have been partly because I screwed the link up when I scheduled it, but still I fixed it and then we shared it again. So, but yeah, go back and watch it. We talk about it. There's a live, so if you can, go watch it. Tenchi 2K7 $2. It's all about the blue macaroons. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's funny.
No, so this one was fine. I think it was probably the best of this season so far for me anyway, as far as enjoyment goes. And I like seeing the old characters come back. There's even like a statue of IG-11 in the town right by the school.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So that was kind of neat to see as well. I didn't see it at first. I got it pointed out to me, and they sent me a screen cap, and I'm like, oh, that is really cool. So we'll see that as they're entering the school, which is neat. So lots of nice callbacks to season 1. And, it was just a fun ride overall. I don't think we're going to see these guys again next episode, or maybe for the next few episodes. I hope they come back for the end of the season. I hope it's not just a one episode kind of deal. But to see even the first character he basically interacted with in episode 1, the bounty back, was kind of neat as well. So lots of nice callbacks in this one. So.
Well, I wonder what the rationale for bringing him back in was. Is it because we didn't know who he was in the first episode, so that meant nothing to us then? Did they just like the actor? Because it was a reference, but didn't add anything specifically, and he could have been literally anybody. Like, I was wondering what that was going to pay off to, but it didn't pay off to anything.
Not yet, anyway. It might
Oh,
later.
that's true. That's true. You know, it kind of feels like they've reached the end of their budgets. They want to reuse as much as they can. Second season, they already have the guys' makeup because obviously they know how to apply it, and how long it takes. They already have all these costumes. They already have these set pieces. They already have the TIE fighters. They already have the how much can we reuse to save money in a show that should be more expensive than last season but feels cheaper somehow. Where'd you stop hearing?
Yes. But feels cheaper.
Somehow, yeah. Would you agree with that so far?
Yes, I mean the visual effects have been pretty good this season,
Mm-hmm.
though. You got the spiders, you got a whole bunch of really cool stuff that way, visual effects wise. And because most of the budget for the first season would have gone into creating the costumes and sets and all that, so they don't have to create a Razor Crest this year. They don't have to create the interior sets for that and stuff. Plus the Mandalorian's armor, even though it changed a few times in season 1, which was again more budget. It's actually, you'd think that there'd be more
new
use of well, I think Katie Sackhoff probably cost a pretty penny. And the lady playing Ashoka,
that's okay,
same deal. So we still have the last half of the season to go, so it'll be interesting to see where that money's kind of spent. And they're also shorter episodes again. Like this one was what, 32 minutes, 33 minutes, something like that.
No, it was like 44. Obviously take out other stuff, but it was definitely, it was a short one, but it wasn't that short.
I thought it was in the 30s, which was kind of disappointing. Like I want
37.
longer.
No, you're right. 37.
Yeah, I want longer Mandalorian, longer Mandalorian stuff. And I think the first like minute and a half, 2 minutes or so is the recap anyway. So, I really enjoyed this one. And I think it stands as one of the best of all of Mandalorian so far as just action and fun goes. It's a Star Wars fun adventure, but I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing the same stuff over and over again. And that's basically what it is, so anywho, Olivia Julius, $5. Hello, Olivia. Puggy treats for the puggy. Well, thank you. She appreciates that, I'm sure.
She will. No, I so I like a lot of the things you said there. It feels very much like we're now in season 1 fatigue, even though we're in season 2. This season is less fresh, is less creative, and the fact that they are still refusing to develop the main storyline means I'm getting more and more bored, because all they're doing is showing a few visuals and moving on. Just having Baby Yoda do one thing does not excuse the lack of story. I'm sorry. They're starting to fail at their main story. It is bogging them down. Because if this was just an of the week Mandalorian, I'm going to do kick-ass things, and you expected nothing else, it would be like, oh, that was fun, move on, never watch it again. You know what I mean? But because we expect these epic things, and they're letting us down. I mean, the whole thing they put him in a daycare, which doesn't make sense anyway, not really, had no part of the story. And then oh yeah.
I was going to say that's the other thing. That's kind of a plot hole at the end, because the one guy working on the ship is also the one that is put the tracker in the ship. The whole ship getting repaired that fast I call bullshit on right away.
Same day,
but also,
I guess.
It seems like it, yeah.
Yeah.
But also the asset is still with the Mandalorian, because it's been confirmed by our witness who was working on the ship, probably saw them leave town without the baby. Just go to the school, grab the baby.
That would be easy, yes. That's true.
Just there's a few things that don't quite make a lot of sense. Could have been too busy working on the ship to not notice them leave town or something. That'd be fine, but it just seems like a big plot hole,
Well, I can see, though, that you'd want the Mandalorians well, because if, he's going to come after them either way, so wait until they're together and then get them. Play the slightly longer game.
Maybe.
They're not rushing, but, classic villains like that. But what was, even stranger, I mean, I liked the set. Okay, the setup was great. Like, it's definitely the best of the last 3, although the first episode I thought was way more interesting, because it was a better story, better Star Wars visuals, because it was, working with sand people fighting a crate dragon rather than just shooting stormtroopers that don't matter in a hallway doesn't matter. And even the moment we got to the lab, we didn't even see what they were, so there wasn't even any big payoff there. And same at the end. What are in those chambers? We don't know. Okay, well, there's no payoff then. It's just it's an anticlimactic. Black armor.
Yeah.
Maybe Death Troopers. I don't know. We can't tell. They need a close up. They need one like dum.
Hmm.
So that ending failed pretty hard for that.
Yeah.
But the fact that the setup is we are going to go attack this base, and they just leave. Like, the three of us are going to attack an entire Imperial base. I'm thinking, what? And you're just going to go up to the front door and get in? Like, how absurd a storyline is that? And how stupidly told? Why would they possibly think that was a good plan? Why would they possibly think they can get in? Why are they not getting attacked on the way? How do they get in without being noticed? I didn't buy any of them getting to the base. It seems totally implausible. Especially as a secret base with a large contingent of people and TIE fighters. How the hell did they get in? And why in hell would they think three of them with hand blasters was enough to take it out? That day without any real planning. What a stupid plan.
It's sort of an explanation with the whole there's just remnants left there. Not really sure what they were getting into when they went there, but it's definitely not fully staffed or fully manned. It seems like it's more of an abandoned outpost, and they get in and find out it's not a frontline outpost at all. It's actually a research facility or a science lab, right? So yeah, it kind of makes sense because there wasn't a lot of activity around, I guess, and it seems like it's just kind of a skeleton crew, which this is after the second Death Star got destroyed. And I remember that a lot of people were like, well, just because the Emperor got killed doesn't mean the Empire's destroyed. Like, there'll still be outliers and stuff.
Yeah, well, the troops didn't get killed. Just the Death Star got killed. There's still trillion or billions of troopers around.
Yeah.
They didn't stop. I'm sure all of them gave up. But it was still the most half-cocked non-plan.
It was, absolutely.
Like, it's not compelling. It's just, see if they had flown over with Razor Crest, scouted the environment, or basically, like, it was a short episode. They needed a 5-minute, let's scan the area, let's say, oh, there's still 5 TIE fighters. Okay, that's weird. Tell you what, we'll go down below. They just needed a clever scene. But it's just like in Star Trek, if Riker walked up to a room with a phaser rifle and started shooting, and then that's the scene. It's like, right, well, it's not interesting. Once they're there, it's fun, it's fine. But it was not a cleverly written story or script. And season 1 was. It was always clever. This season has not been clever so far. I don't know what's happened. Honestly, I thought season 2 would be bigger, better, more interesting. It's been smaller, duller, more repetitive. What happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's dropping the ball now. And this one's the best of the last 3. First one I still prefer, because that was a good start. But I don't know what's happened, honestly. Like, they're still not bad, but it was plain. It was okay. And they promised, bigger stuff with the child. I liked the reveal, that's fine, but a one-line reveal does not make it the 37 minutes of exciting,
Yeah. Well, Eugene is here with 250 rubles, which is awesome. Good to see you, Eugene. Entire episode is full of Dark Forces Jedi Outcast vibes. P.S. I've been in between jobs since May. Today, I finally accepted a new job offer. Well, congratulations. Good to hear.
Oh, goodness.
Hope you were doing well, sir. Your absence has been noticed.
Yes.
And
just
really
in the chat normally, like not super chat, it's just you being around. As certainly Mr. always have interesting comments, even if you don't agree with us. Is it the same job you've had previously? Are you back in your own field, or is it something new? Are you excited? Let us know.
Bill 23799. Big visual effects does not make up for lazy writing. It's not so much lazy writing. Like the story ideas are good. It's just it seems like there's a lot of filler in these very short episodes. Like a lot of repeated stormtrooper killing in hallways, generic hallways.
Well, it's also just super unambitious. It's also just super unambitious. Last week was we're fighting in dark corridors against stormtroopers, and then this episode is we're fighting in dark corridors against stormtroopers. Like if this was episode 1 and that was episode 4, would feel more natural. But to go from Crate Dragon to pew pew we kill them all, it's not engaging. And honestly, did he even say
that's the sort of thing I think the rest of the season might be the payoff. Like see how the whole season is as a whole.
Yeah.
Because the next episode's supposedly a lot longer and directed by Dave Filoni and has Ahsoka in it, so it could be like amazing, So.
But I think you're right. I think they definitely either rushed these first 4, or we're told, right, you've got to start producing now because the virus, I know the full virus, but you're like, got to start producing now. We've got to get the first 4 out, make them simpler, easier, quicker, boom, and then we'll put the money into the second half. Because they are dropping the ball here. Just compared to season 1, each season 1 episode, I was like, yes. And I even think the Mandalorian himself did even say more than 15 lines this episode. Like, especially once you got to the battle sequences, he said basically nothing. He was a complete non-entity.
Yeah, he wasn't even in it for most, because she's like, fly back. That's the fastest way for you to get back. And he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the
That's a good
start.
point.
He's not in the Cardoon scene. He lands, talks to them, and they do most of the talking. He agrees to go. They shoot. He's barely in it. There's so little here of the story, even though this is the one that I thought was going to really like get us into the story. And it's a great concept. The episode's a great concept. Finding this base, like what would have been better is if they'd scanned this base and it was tiny. They're like, oh, it's like, like Prometheus, that shack, And there's a cool, special material they can't scan inside. And so once they go in, they're like, oh my god, this thing's huge. Like, you get a scene where you see like a cavern and it's like 15 TIE fighter racks. And it's like, oh my, this was our planet the whole time. Holy shit. Like, that sort of big reveal. And then it's like, oh no. And then you can start the same with destroy it really easily. That's fine. Just give us like this was underneath us the whole time. And to even have the planet be so peaceful when there's an entire garrison half an hour away. I know they want to be left alone, but I guess they didn't want to keep the planet. And if there's an entire garrison there, why the Mandalorian? Why was Moff Gideon using shitty? Yeah, well, no. Why was the guy in first season? Why was he using grungy stormtroopers where Moff Gideon uses clean stormtroopers because he has more stormtroopers, and they were both working for the same guy?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And
actually,
why would he not need? Why would he not begin reinforcements from the base on the planet? Why would there not be like 15 dozen troopers? Given this is about, like, why? It's the same damn planet. It's laying itself down, Stuart. It really is.
It's a good point. Good point.
Different field. The old one, Cargo. Oh, sorry, Eugene. But still IT. Good. Okay. Still not radically different. But I didn't not like it, Stuart. I just expect way more from Mandalorian. That's the thing. And honestly, I'm more excited for Discovery now than Mandalorian this year. Which last year was absolutely the opposite.
Yeah, no kidding.
That tells you something, guys. That tells you something.
Bill 23799 says, Commander Calkins.
Hello.
I just watched Line of Duty. Once again, well done, sir.
Hey. Thanks.
When do you sleep?
Yeah, no. That was fun. I'm glad I managed to work with Aaron at the end on his last project to give an extra bit of zazz, because I mean, I had a lot less to do with that than obviously everyone else, but it was good. Thanks for the shout out.
The Doctor throws in $5.
Doctor.
It's world building. They're doing a lot better than the sequels. I think those guys at the Imperial base were stuck awaiting extraction. Oh, I totally agree. Maybe they got most people out, but they left the scragglers behind, and because it seemed like a lot of stuff was in storage, it was like covered up, like they're evacuating the base. So, yeah.
And world building's fine, but you also need a story as well, because as you said, it's just filler. Then, like, it could be good filler, but it's still filler. When they find the people in the tubes, I was expecting a big reveal there, and then Yoda to have a big reveal, as in Baby Yoda, and then at the end a big reveal. But we've got mini reveals that still don't tell you much. It's weird.
Yeah.
But we start off with the Razor Crest not going to Tatooine, despite it being extremely close. Still don't know why. They could have sublighted to there and got fixed, but we're not going to.
Well, at the end of the last one, they hyperspaced out, so I assume he thought it would work. And they started heading in a direction, and then Navarro was the closest.
But not Tatooine.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I guess Navarro is close to Tatooine, even though one's at the edge of the galaxy, sort of. Doesn't matter. They've lost the plot there.
Later in the school, there's a lot of dialogue that's set in the background that you couldn't really hear, but the subtitles caught it all. It's actually pretty interesting. We'll get there when I get there.
Yeah, the Coruscant bit. I was like, damn it, what planet did you say? Because then, but what planet was it? I mean, what planet was the Republic's headquarters? But yeah, what do you think?
They say it's on here. I'll tell you when we get there.
Excellent. What do you think of Baby Yoda not fixing the thing?
Okay, first of all, I thought this was cute as hell, but second of all, I thought this was really stupid. He needs to have a crawl space to repair his ship that's big enough for him to get in, because otherwise, how's he going to do it if it's just him? So I thought that whole little thing was the great idea and all, but it's not practical in any way, shape, or form. But the whole blue wire, no, don't plug a blue wire back in where it was, plug the red wire in there. It was hilarious. I thought it was cute. But overall, yes. How is he going to fix that on his own should the need arise, which it has? Um, you'd think that it's only like so deep, right? Like 6 feet deep, probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's where Baby Yoda is. So it's perfect spot to have big enough that you could crawl into it and like jury rig
Or like a
something.
door that opens up and you can like do a half step in.
Yeah,
Little
yeah.
crawl
So
space.
it's cute and all, but it's just an impractical design for a ship prepared, like whatever the is in there. Like, how would you fix it?
It also makes me think it's a reshoot because this could be not the main actor on the original set with Baby Yoda. Like we realize, oh, we've only got Baby Yoda in it for 4 minutes. We need to have a scene where he's actually doing something because it's
Mm,
completely like, you know what I mean? It's so
yeah.
disconnected apart from just we're more broken now, I guess. Like,
Well, it's funny. It's
yeah,
funny how the Baby Yoda doesn't understand because he's a baby, obviously. But don't touch them. But you know why? Because why Baby Yoda didn't understand because he wasn't saying it in Yoda-ese. He wasn't saying,
yeah,
no, the blue wire must
yep.
touch the red wire. It must not,
Now
because he was saying it
that's a good point.
normally. And so he didn't
So
understand.
he thought it was the other way around because he was speaking the wrong way around.
Yes. Yep.
But I meant to think that Baby Yoda. Remember, he's 50. Like, is he meant to be a brain dead child, or is he meant to be sort of intelligent that can do things? Like in this, he's
See,
brain dead, but last week he was able to like communicate with Mando about not eating the thing, and what do we like? You know what I mean? Is he conscious or is he not? Is he 1 or is he 3 in terms of brain
well,
power?
that's a good point. Yeah,
Because
I don't know.
there was no challenge. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a really clever thing. It was just 2 wires. But he was acting like a infant. But he still got down there. You know, it's weird. It was an
Yeah.
inconsistent scene. But I did like Mando opening up his helmet. That was unseen before. That was fun.
Because yeah, I wondered how he would eat, but yeah, and every time he did it, and then he put it back down, you hear the seal, so it
Mhm.
does seal.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Because I had my Mandalorian helmet on the other day, and it's actually hard to breathe and talk in that. Um, it just restricts breathing, and there's an opening right here. It's like, so
Mhm.
it would make sense that if you have it as an actual uniform, that you'd have some kind of circulation in the helmet and stuff. So
Mhm. And one odd thing I thought in this episode, the Mandalorian, like in these shots, he looks much heavier. He looks like a bulky guy. I don't know if Pedro put on weight or if the stunt guy wearing the suit, but he looks like Mandalorian's meant to look kind of not thin,
hmm.
but he looks fat in this. Actively bulky. I'm confused as to how big he looks. Looks like a
People were
fan film guy. It's weird.
Yeah, people were saying that about the first episode too. Like the armor just looks better on him. Like he looks like he's built a bit better, and not as scrawny as Pedro. Um, but I don't know.
Just looks overweight here, which he never did before. It's weird.
Yeah,
But it's a fair enough scene. Just move on.
yeah. The ship's a piece of shit. We need to go to
Yeah.
Navarro. How do you feel? Um, then we get the Forge, the Mandalorian
Mm-hmm.
Forge, and the Walrus Men, which are really disgusting, by the way. I didn't realize they look so ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and then then they say, "Oh, it's the Marshal," and it's like, what? Vance Cobb is here? No, 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 no. It's Cara Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, she uses some of her MMA fighting, which
Mm-hmm.
works out nicely. And she looks like she's put on some bulk too, um, since first time we saw her. So
Yeah, it's hard to catch here because it's so dim. But
yeah,
yeah, and I like this scene, but we didn't need a scene to reintroduce her. It also felt like filler. Like we know exactly how cool she is. Again, this scene
but we
felt like
didn't know that she was working as the marshal on Navarro and cleaning
sure,
things up. So that's kind of the introduction to that. So
but it was like another like cutaway to it's like a Family Guy cutaway, and on this planet, and then back to the story. Obviously, it was nice to see the guys from New Hope, aliens. But I was expecting them to be in this caves and Mandalorian to come out and be like shoot, 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 vermin. Saying vermin, get out of my lair. This is my people's place. So for it to be her, I'm like, okay. But it's just like I didn't need this scene. I'd rather have had better scenes. They didn't add anything to the grander story again. It's like, give us scenes that mean something, you know? But I did like her being honorable and good. That's good, obviously, but...
Yeah, and generally a generic fight scene. But the one thing I did like was she threw the guy on her back and like backed into the guy that was shooting her. So he's shooting the guy, and then she throws him over the table, which was kind of interesting. That's kind of a unique take on things. So.
And I both did and didn't like the animatronic puppet because it was like it moved really weird, like obviously a real piece of prop, but obviously not organically moving. It was weird.
Yeah, it's cute like Dot, but yeah, it moved way too fake for me.
Yeah,
it seemed very janky, and I'm like, that's not great, guys. Come on.
It was clearly on a stick. Like literally.
I know you want to do practical effects, like kudos for that, but that just didn't look good. Sorry. Area 51 throws in $2 and says she can pin me anytime.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good seeing her back anyway. Then we get the introduction to chapter 12, the siege. And the Razor Crest lands. I was expecting the same kind of jankiness as before, but no. We kind of get that with the ramp.
Yeah, that was good.
I half expected the ramp, him to walk to the edge and then it fall, and him kind of fall on his ass. Yeah. But, oh well.
And this is where it started to get good. I kind of wish we started here. Like, this is a great little scene. You can see the chemistry of the actors. Yeah. You can see how Cara Dune's much happier now. Like, she's just more happy. I just said that, but there's a lightness to her personality. She likes being the hero. She likes saving people. It's really refreshing compared to how she was in season 1. And Carl, remember, he was a bad guy in season 1, give or take. He was running a mercenary ring and bounty hunter ring, and now he's a helpful governor. So the dynamic is really refreshing for this, and him being like that friendly towards a bit. It's a good scene. It's a really good scene, and I like the use of. They're clearly on the 360 screen, but they've got the practical Razor Crest ramp. But it works really well here. It's just very, very grey.
Yeah, and the whole fix his ship up. I want it like new.
Yeah,
because his credit's good here.
Yeah.
And then the alien, the red alien that plants the tracker later that we find out.
Yeah.
It was really cool seeing that because I just played Star Wars Squadrons.
And
one of your squadron mates is this race. And in VR you talk to her quite a bit, and she's like right in front of you, and I'm like, that's a cool looking alien.
Yeah, I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, to see that alien here was really nice. So
that's awesome.
Kudos.
Yeah. A little bit obvious it was going to do something dodgy to it, but that was okay. A little bit telegraphed, but that was okay. And then I did like, this city's fine, although given it's been 2.5 weeks, a bit weird, given that the last time we saw it, it was a deserted dust town where mercenaries ruled, and now everyone's having a lovely festival of, like it felt too positive, and I was wondering, like, did all the money go to these people then? To build this set that you barely use? It's like, way to go big for being like 2.5 weeks, because time is going pretty slow in this universe.
Yeah.
Like, you rescue him, like, there was the last season finale is when you left after the stormtroopers attacked everybody. And now it's a thriving population. When did that happen? Like, time hasn't really passed. It was weird.
Oh, then we get to the school, and there you can see the IG-88 statue in the background.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Gun up. That is really awesome.
I didn't notice that. That's lovely, yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. I didn't notice it either until it was pointed out to me. So.
And I liked the fact this is the actual bar. This is the scummy bar set they've turned into the school. That's lovely. I mean, it's obviously cheap, like, we're going to reuse the set, but it's like, yeah, that's a nice symbol.
Yeah, he's like, I'm surprised this place is still standing. And as they're going in, wait till you see the inside. I'm like, it's a brothel. And no, it's a school.
Although, again, I was wondering, why are there that many kids that look totally healthy and fine if 3 weeks ago there was a massive stormtrooper fight here? It's like, they all look too healthy, and this is a backwater planet, but it looks like a lovely little school.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's cool that it's being taught by a protocol droid, too, like the teacher.
I haven't seen those in a while.
Okay, so here's some of the dialogue that's the teacher's teaching, so you can learn some things. The 5 major trade routes. Can anybody name the 5 major trade routes in the galaxy? How about the Corellian Run? The Hydian Way.
Onderon? Is that there?
Let's see. So Corellian, Hydian. Yes, the Hydian Way. That's correct. We find out that this is the school. This is other dialogue, obviously, these guys. And she's like, we'll leave the baby here, He's like, where I go, he goes. Like, no,
Hmm?
no, trust me. He's safe here. She says, trust me. So you gotta trust her. Um, let's see. Okay, and then the dialogue for the teacher continues. Be transported from the outer rim to as far as the core worlds. However, there are several other regions within the galaxy. They are the mid rim, the expansion region, the inner rim, the colonies, the core, and the deep core.
Mm-hmm.
Um, back to the lesson. The capital of the Old Republic was within the core on a planet called Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
The capital of the New Republic is currently on the planet Chandrilla,
Huh.
which is also within the core region. The system also contains the Akadasi Maelstrom, which surrounds Kessel and its 3 moons. There are many systems within the galaxy. How many orbits are in the Kestrel system? Do you remember that? Oh, I know. 2. Yes, very good. As the 3rd moon of Kessel rotates the outer planet. You see the moon here travels in its same orbit. So you're actually learning quite a bit if you actually pay attention. And the whole time, the whole thing with the cookie it's actually a macaroon.
Yes, it's
so he's a huge macaroon fan. But I thought the kid was going to say yes and give him a cookie.
Yeah, I thought so.
Like, no. It's almost like Baby Yoda was trying like a little mind trick on him because he kind of like hesitated for a second and then said no. And then, yeah, Baby Yoda forced over the cookies. So anyway, that's it. You learned a few things about the core worlds and stuff, so it was neat.
So Chandrilla is the birthplace of Mon Mothma.
Ooh.
But it was only first mentioned. It was first mentioned in 1994 as just a thing, and then actually first mentioned in 2015 in the Aftermath. So it was the very first book post the new films to the new capital. So that is the official one. Although I'd never heard of it, and I kind of wish it was Coruscant like all the expanded universe, which destroys all that even further for me. But hey ho, this who cares planet.
Well,
but
I love how Disney dismantles the expanded universe as being canon, and then decides to pick and choose from the expanded universe lore what it wants. Like, no, that shouldn't be done. I don't think. Either it's canon or it's not. Stop with we're going to jury pick what we want.
That's that. I'm happy they got Thrawn, but yeah, and this scene with the Baby Yoda again, it felt like a who the hell cares scene. It's like the kid doesn't want to give this random baby that he doesn't understand a cookie, fine, but let's steal it. It's like they keep doing things to Baby Yoda to make him seem worse. And this is also not a daycare.
Well, he's a baby. He needs to learn what's right and wrong. He just does what instinct tells him to do. That's why he was eating the eggs too. He was just hungry.
But this isn't a preschool. It's a day it's at school. So a teacher who's a robot should be like, this unknown alien race of unknown age who I can't teach because it can't speak or learn. What? Like, it was just again disconnected. It was just like, we have to do something. Let's put them here. Let's put a scene in, and it could use the Force. Whoop-de-doo. We knew it can. It's just this isn't good enough. This isn't good storytelling. But well done, puppeteer. But just not well done for the show. It should be doing better. But then introduce the blue guy, who sends out a mist, which is quite fun.
Yeah, it's like a octopus when it's scared, it inks. When he's working off his debt to 350 years worth.
That was funny. But since we have no idea how long he lives, that could legitimately be part of his life.
Oh, and plus he's saying, I'll take 30 years off for this and 100 years off for that. So it's like,
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the whole carbonite thing. I don't want to go back in carbonite. I can't see out of my left eye. Still can't see out of my left eye. That's just funny.
Yeah.
But then there's like, yeah, you want to help us out? Well, I'm just here for repairs. Yeah, but it's going to take a while, so you'll have time to kill, right? Oh, fine. What are we doing? Like, this poor guy, everywhere he goes, he gets suckered into helping somebody.
But these are his sort of best friends in a sense. Like, they're the people he almost knows the most. So I like they didn't like extort him. It was a super like, I mean, I'm fixing our ship for free. You've actually got time to kill. Since we've only got half an hour to tell a story, do you want to hop in now and do a thing? Yeah, hop in now. We'll be done before the credits.
Yeah.
Like, I wish there'd been, like, again, I keep hopping on, but it needs to be longer. I wish there'd been, like, a TIE fighter flying overhead, and he's like, Imperials? Yes, the base that's popped up it's got one thing. It's like I can't allow a base here. This is da, da, da. Well, if you want to help us solve it, you know.
Yeah. Well, this is where they say, it's an old Imperial base. That's where all those troops came from that we defeated with Moff Gideon.
Which is good.
This base has been here since the Imperial expansion. It's got a skeleton crew, but for some reason it hasn't been abandoned. There's a lot of heavy weaponry in that place, and the black market would love to dismantle it to get their hands on it. And then the Mando jumps in and says, "And you want to mop up the last of the Imperial forces before they do." Like you're helping out the arms trail, essentially.
Well, money
he's
could
like, Mando,
help the town, so.
Yeah, and he's like, Mando, I just want them off my planet.
Yeah.
Because he says if we can get that last base taken care of, then Navarro could become a trade anchor for the entire sector.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she jumps in with the planet would finally be free.
Yeah.
So.
Although I think they could have taken the weapons and sold them because they could have used the money.
Yeah.
Or defended their base with it. I mean, what? If they're that professional. But I did like they're super good now. I guess refreshing. And guys, 116 of you watching, only 63 likes. Where do you want to push that to, Stuart? Because I think we need to go more. We need to go more.
Well, we can easily hit 75, so I'm going to say let's go 80.
Ooh.
We can hit 100, but hit the like button if you haven't. Come on, guys. Simple.
I want to see.
And if you guys want to super chats are kind of late right now. So, again, to keep doing the Mandalorian, we could do a Discovery stream in the same time slot and probably get triple the super chats. So we want to continue. We want to continue reviewing the Mandalorian because we like it, we love it. But you guys came out in force for the Mandalorian and really showed it was worth doing. And this season's just kind of been. So
I mean, we need at least another 130 bucks, honestly, and that's a minimum 130. So do put in fives of what you think. We can get there slowly. We're not pressuring you guys, because we'll just react to what you guys do or don't do. But yeah,
I'm sure next week's episode with Ahsoka will be popular. So
yeah, I think that'll be our last one of give it a go, and then if not, we'll just move on for a bit.
Yeah, maybe review them in just the end of January.
Well, if you recall, we did. I think we did actually do 3 in a row. We stopped and then did 4, and then you guys came out in force. And we did the last couple. I think we actually kind of did. I think we did do that.
Yeah. I don't think we did, but
we did that
Tenchi
for
2K7
something though. What did we do that for?
I don't know. Let me think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Tenchi 2K7 though throws in $2.
Thank you.
Bill 23799 IG11 was hero like Jane and Firefly. Absolutely, yeah. That's why there's.
Well said.
Because he sacrificed himself to help everybody essentially. So
kicked so much butt.
Yeah.
Memorable butt kick, King Robot.
And I see Tenchi 2K7. Speaking of super chats, you did not read my last one. We don't read them right away. We usually continue our discussion. Plus, when they're kind of light and coming in slowly, we kind of save them a little bit. So, that's all.
Yeah, we reviewed the last 2 together rather than reviewing them separately. We said we weren't going to do them, and then we'll do them together, come out and force, and then we did it as a 3-hour one, and then you guys.
Oh, we did that with Orville too. Some Orville episodes we did a few. We reviewed 3 or 4 together at one time. If you remember correctly.
No. That's funny.
Yeah, that's what I think you were thinking of, because we saved some. Because the Orville ones, also the reviews were light, which...
Even more shocking. But we get very, very grey scenery. They love their desaturated mess. But we get a good little speeder bike, kit bash of the original, but looks nice. I like the practicalness of them. As they get off, it wobbles like it should. Feels very Star Wars. And yet their plan is literally just to go to the front door. That's it. No plan, just front door.
And the one thing I was thinking this whole time was this poor fish guy's on a desert planet. How does that work? But they make a point of saying you're I'll make you walk home with your hydrating vest on. How's that sound? So he's got a vest that keeps him hydrated. So I thought that was a cool little mention, because the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, this guy won't do well on a desert planet, but his humidity vest, that's it. So that was nice. That was a nice little call out. So
it does make me think he's going to be in it more because that's an unnecessary detail unless he's a character. He's part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hand blasters. Like at least bring bigger rifles. You know, feels so half cooked.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I did like at least because the way they present it is we're going up the front door, but they do say this is a lava trench. Like this is not the main door. This is from the lava floor, which can be flooded. That's why the thing is broken. They should have said we're going via the back entrance, like Star Wars Episode 3 or 6. But the way they say it is not. Like it's actually not the front. The front entrance is up there, by ship. It's the ground entrance, which is not used because it's a lava floor. So that would have been better if they said it would be sneaky, etc., etc.
Yeah. But the Mandalorian decides to jetpack up, and then we get a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then he activates the turbolift for them. The elevator, whatever you want to call it in Star Wars land.
Yeah, what's
Turbo
it called?
elevator.
No, it's... What is it called? Yeah, it's not a lift. It's not a tow lift.
Not sure.
Huh. Let us
anyway. Yeah, and the guy doesn't want to go with them, and she's like, "Well, when the lava, what is it? Lava tide comes in. Just give us a holler. We'll drop you down a rope." Ah, fine, I'll go. They got a nice shot of the base from the side as well, and it reminded me a lot of the Carillion transport. It just looks like, from the side you got the guns at the top. It's like, oh well, it kind of looks like. So
it's a good looking base. I mean, it's very simple, but I like it, and I like you can see the TIE fighters on the top.
Yeah,
right at the top of the frame. And I still really like how they fold. That was never a thing until Mandalorian, but it's a very simple, obvious thing to do. Very clever.
The Sporkmeister throws in $10, which is an awesome super chat. Thank you.
Boom, boom.
They really seem to expect everyone watching to have a whole bunch of old EU knowledge like I do, but I don't understand why they don't throw some info at those who want to learn. Well, yeah, that's a good point. But that's the thing about Star Wars, though, that George Lucas has said from the beginning, and the lived-in universe, not everything needs to be explained because it's just everyday thing. So I kind of like that in a way. Like you kind of have to learn for yourself.
It's like Jawas. Of course they can be multiple planets. Why do you think they were just Tatooine? They didn't have to say it. They just showed it, and everyone was confused. But it's like, well, yeah.
So I kind of like that in a way. Like it's not everything needs a. This is the reason for this explanation.
Yeah. But as you said a minute ago, don't pick and choose EU. Those of us that have been following EU for 20 years, whatever, loved it, and then they abandon all of it, and then expect you to still, keep mental note of it and be enthralled by the cool stuff, and then sort of, or the, especially the Dave Filoni. I mean, obviously hugely into his own shows that he designed, Clone Wars and Rebels. So obviously he's going to use stuff from those, and that's brilliant. But if you haven't seen those shows, you can't. We can't blame us for not watching because he's spent, 12 years designing those shows. He's allowed to be in love with them and use the stuff. That's kind of good he is. But obviously more people have not watched those and have, etc. But anyway, so they go into the base effortlessly. They get up to the...
Yeah, the Mandalorian's like, empty base, huh? No. Skeleton crew base, dumbass. Anyway, they find out that if we shut down the reactor, the cooling reactor, it's going to overheat and explode. So we got to do that.
Which is a fair plan. But they get rid of the one guy. Easy. And they go through the same hallway set for a while. And it doesn't look good. Like, it's an incredibly repetitive set. It's bizarre they would go this route. Like, even the hallways on the shuttle look better than this. For some reason, it doesn't work. These hallways. Yeah. I don't know why.
Well,
it's weird.
Yeah, I want to point out the transport too that was covered up, like it's the been in the base are covered and stuff. It's a mint Trek Marauder, which I thought was funny because that used to be the troop transport for your toys. That was like a toy carrier. It got canonized in season 1, and he's like, we can get a lot for that on the black market. Well, too bad it's going to get vaporized. Oh, what a such a waste. And then all the speeder bikes lined up also was really cool visual.
Oh yeah, that was a good visual. That was a really nice one. Yeah.
But then later when they take off, because they're aimed for that door, so you would assume that's where they would head out of. And then when they go down, like two of the bike troopers can't handle the rocks and they crash into each other and explode. It's like what?
I didn't understand that at all. I'll be honest.
And yeah, and later too with the transport, they try to go through into the base. So maybe there's like a elevator that takes or access out through the back, like which is on the main. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Stuart, I don't think they thought it through. I'll be honest. It doesn't feel like I did. Because this feels like a landing pad for a ship, but there's a transport and speeder bikes, neither of which.
It could be that they're getting ready to transport them off, like a cargo ship was
Yes.
coming to, because they're evacuating the base, right?
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
maybe that's why they're up there.
Um,
Uh,
although just
can,
take them to the surface bit.
yeah,
With
well, that's kind of where they are, right?
well, the actual surface bit though, with the TIE fighters, because if you can leave 6 TIE fighters, you can leave this thing, you know?
Well, maybe that's why, because if you look at the base from the side, you got this landing platform that they're on,
Mhm.
and then the TIE fighters are just above that. So it could be that they were actually trying to go through there with the transport and go up an elevator to the main to get off that way where the TIE fighters are. Could
Well, I
be.
assume they were, yeah. Just it's not clear.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Well, Kenchi 2K7 throws in another $5.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone going to get fined for
Yeah.
not having railings on those platforms. Yeah, the Empire doesn't really care about safety. So
Well, they've got stormtroopers for days. Although Super Batzar says the thing you saw in season 1 was a different vehicle. This is a different vehicle. I also thought the same. I think that was the toy. This is actually a vehicle from Clone Wars.
oh really? Okay.
Oh, it's a more subtle, like just a normal troop. That was a specialist. That was a fun one. I think this is more. I think
Okay.
this is from the Clone Wars ones.
I thought it was the same thing, so I could
Yeah.
show you what I know.
Yeah.
Sebastian though throws in €10. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
I disagree regarding the pacing and side quests. No one seems to know where to find the Jedi, let alone Yoda's race. Theoretically, the story and series ends when he delivers the child.
Mm-hmm.
True, but I mean, everywhere I went, if somebody was like, "Can you help me do this thing?" which is probably dangerous, I'd be like, oh, "Just want a day off," you know.
Well, I mean, they clearly went planet to planet. It took time because they had to rebuild an entire colony. So clearly, his interstellar travel is taking time. So he's got days off actually. I do agree about the thing is though he does know where to find the Jedi person. That was last episode. So every week we're not going there. It feels like again we're just delaying the plot.
That was the whole janky repair job that the calamari did in the last episode.
Yeah.
Facilitated this stop to fix the ship.
And that in itself was a fix for the previous episode. So it's been 2 episodes of fixing the ship, which is not a smart thing. But the thing is, what you need to do is the child being given to the Jedi is where the story starts. That's the thing. This is all the lead up to the real story. If this is the real story, then it's going to be a disappointing show because then it's just a dude doing things, giving a thing to a thing, we're done. So that needs to be the start of the grander story.
The Mandalorian is the Rogue One of whatever's coming later.
Yeah. And Ninja says, I disagree with that. The show is called The Mandalorian, not The Child. Yes.
Yes.
But you set that up as the big arc. And so every time you ignore the big arc, you're left thinking, well, that's the point of the season, even if it's not the main character.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. I thought that season 1 would revolve around the child, and then season 2 would be something else, maybe.
Boba Fett, which we saw.
Yeah, but it is bleeding over, so hopefully there's just bleed over. You know, like the child thing will kind of maybe get resolved at the end of the season or mid season 3. And I don't have a problem if it continues without the child. So that's not the issue that I have.
Wouldn't change much if it did, except the natural direction of where he's traveling.
Yeah, and actually the kid's more of a pain in the ass than anything because you got to drop him off at a babysitter each time you want to go do something. And that's like last time was the frog people. This time it was leave them at the school, which is really dangerous considering that we find out that there's people working for Moff Gideon in the town that could literally scoop the baby up and he'd be gone. Like I thought that earlier when he rockets back to town to get his ship. What if it was in pieces and not fixed yet and he had to wait? Then they'd all be screwed.
Or they just blew it up.
Or the kid was missing. He couldn't find the baby Yoda to get him on board the Razor Crest, and then he'd go off on the vendetta to find the kid first. It's like a lot of things are very convenient in this one.
Well, I think what it is, they had they worked out where they wanted to go, and they broke up into episodes. Unfortunately, most of those sub stories were only a short amount of time, and so they're like, oh, we can only have this much. Like we said before, the first 3 should have been the first 2. Have the crash at the end of part 1, lead and everything. That would have been much stronger. You'd have, because this is like what, 4 out of the 8? Yeah, we're halfway through. Ugh. What have they done? A little bit. You know what I mean? When you say that, it's 4 out of 8. Halfway through. Ooh, that's bad.
Well, I think the last 4 is going to be really, hopefully ramped up, and longer episodes as well. I think will be important.
Yeah, it's just we only get 8 of these a year, and they're meant to be epic. And when they're not, it's like, well, why did you make it this way? You know. And I like the lot. Like the first episode, I think is excellent. It's all the world building. It's all the line. That's what it should be. These aren't quite. But I do like the fact they use a metal tube. But Stuart, that metal tube and blinkies, they look a bit old. Why didn't they update it with touchscreens and a fancy hologram key? No one's going to buy this in the future because it looks so disadvanced. How can they be doing that? I mean, have you seen Star Trek Discovery? You can't use old designs. You've got to use new designs. So him putting a small silver stick into a thing, that's not... No, you have to visually update it, don't you?
No, you don't.
Or you just use the silver stick and it's fine because you understand what it is.
I'm glad they actually acknowledged the codes, the canisters, because I never knew what they were before. And I actually asked somebody in cosplay like 3 years ago, a friend of mine who was dressed as an Imperial officer. I'm like, oh, you got what are those pens for doing all your paperwork? He's like, no, they're code cylinders.
Yep.
Each color is a different thing for different, the higher rank, the more you have, and for access to. I'm like, I didn't know that. So I learned something from a cosplayer. And now it's like being used, like use the code cylinder. Like it's awesome.
Yep. No, that's good stuff. And so is this scene. I like it. The thing. I mean, even more dangerous than the Death Star. But then again, you're not necessarily meant to turn this thing off. So I guess it's just don't turn it off, please, on pain of you might fall down and die.
Yeah, again, really stupid design though. Like I'm like, who would do this? Who would design this like this?
Sadomasochist.
Yeah, I guess. Or it's a security feature to prevent somebody from just going and accidentally flicking it off. Like, don't go in there. Anyhow, whatever. He does deactivate action down below, so.
Yeah, but at least it makes sense in the universe, which I appreciate. And it is a very simple, way of destroying it all. But it does also make sense. Like, it's not a reach, Yeah,
but it's so simple to destroy these Imperial things. You either fly in and shoot the main reactor, or you disable the main reactor, or you knock out the force field generator or the tractor beam thing. It's always something like. I don't know.
I didn't like how quick it was. Like as soon as it turns off, it goes. It's like, really? You're 1 second away from blowing up, pretty much.
Well, he said 10 minutes at most was a line of dialogue. So
yeah, but the graphic was pretty elaborate. And then more corridors, boring corridors. They're worried about stormtroopers for some reason, even though they kill them instantly. I was waiting for them just to go and just shoot them. Like, why? Like, there's 4 guys. Yeah.
Let's go this way.
Yeah, I was like, care about them or don't,
Then they find the 2 guys that are destroying the information or whatever, and then we see on the left-hand side the cast member or the behind the scenes guy.
Did you get a picture? Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Funny.
But that happens. I mean, hey.
I mean, they'll fix it for the Blu-ray when the Blu-ray doesn't come out, because they don't make Blu-rays of this sort of stuff. But this was a good scene, though. Yeah, it was actually continuing the main plot. Although we couldn't tell what was in these tubes, which was, again, a bit I was expecting a close-up, but they're just a form. Like, they're not even Baby Yodas. They're not even... I mean, you can... Obviously, now we can... they're humanoid.
They're bald with ear, and it looks like it's got a scar. It almost looks like Snoke.
Yeah. Deformed creature, yeah.
Which they mention M count in a second, for the blood.
I mean,
which
read the dialogue. I mean, I didn't even hear him say M count, even though I know it was referenced.
Well, yeah, okay. First of all, she says, I thought you said there's a forward operating base I thought it was. No, this isn't a military operation. This is a lab.
Mhm.
So they get into the system,
Which is very
and we get
easy. It's like either break. I was expecting some jiggery pokery, but they just press a different button. It's like,
yeah. But
okay.
so we see the doctor from season one, Dr. Pershing.
Mhm.
Says replicated the results of the subsequent trials, which also resulted in catastrophic failure.
Mhm.
There were promising effects for an entire fortnight, so 2 weeks,
Mhm.
but then sadly, the body rejected the blood. I highly doubt we'll find a donor with a higher M count, though, which obviously is midichlorians.
Mm.
Um, I recommend that we suspend all experimentation. I fear that the volunteer will meet the same regrettable fate if we proceed with the transfusion. Unfortunately, we have exhausted our initial supply of blood. The child is small, and I was only able to harvest a limited amount without killing him. If these experiments are to continue as requested, we would again require access to the donor. I will not disappoint you again, Moff Gideon. And it's like, well, this must be an old transmission because Moff Gideon's dead. No, this is 3 days ago. So, yeah.
Best scene. Best scene of the whole thing. Actually, something
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep.
Because we always thought it was about the Baby Yoda character, but it isn't. It's about what it can do. Like, because that's the thing. Why create a grown up one? You kind of a brainless clone, which is mostly what the creature is. You just need what's in its blood.
Mm-hmm.
But who's the volunteer? And that I thought was weird because at the end we see a whole battalion of things, but I was more interested in there being one. Like I thought it was going to be either an existing character or an almost Jedi or like something, but to be that many was weird.
The impression I got from that was that they're testing it on certain test subjects, and those troops that we see are all ready to go for when it's successful. That they're already ready to go, like just infuse them with whatever.
So the easy bit was the armor. The hard bit is the actual putting people in the armor, basically special people.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I mean, in terms of the whole story being about Mandalorian-based Jedi troopers, sure, easy, makes sense. But the fact that
Is that what the Sith troopers are eventually?
well, no, the Sith troopers
Because
in Rise of Skywalker are just they happen to be trained on the Sith homeworld.
okay, because I thought they might have some kind of force power. Sith trooper,
I mean,
like that's what you think, right?
there is a trooper in canon, well, obviously the side canon, which is force sensitive ish. And they got jetpacks, but they were put in the games.
They fly now.
They've flown for a long time, Stuart.
Oh, okay.
They've flown since Attack of the Clones, and they should know that, dumbasses. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, though, as soon as you make a trooper that can have the Force, wouldn't he turn against? Like, wouldn't I guess that I mean I assume Moff Gideon would want the Force powers after that because otherwise you need to have them as well to keep control of your people. I would assume, but I mean, how much Force? Like the ability to choke somebody. I mean, that's great, but a blaster is more effective. Force senses is useful, sure.
They need more people with Kylo Ren's ability that we were amazed by when we first saw it. Stop a blaster bolt in midair and hold it until you let it go. That's a cool power. And we didn't know the Force could do that until that moment. I remember seeing that and go, that is impressive. But yeah, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish here.
But at least it's something. It tells us more about the point of the story and isn't what we thought, which is good. A reveal is a reveal. But why don't we get a closer look at what's in the tanks? Oh.
Because it's supposed to be a reveal for later, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know. But then a lot of shooty.
And it's so boring. It's so
it is,
dull.
and every stormtrooper, one hit, no matter where it is, they're down. Some of them should take a few shots to the chest or something before they go down. Like I'm just so sick of the armor being that ineffective. Like why even bother wearing armor at that point?
Well, it's worse than that. It's the hero's one shot, one kill. Stormtroopers a couple of shots, no kill. It's like you can't one shot them and only shoot 6 times. Yeah. Like then these are the elite people, yet they can't shoot. But like because the second hallway, literally, they just turn, shoot, dead, done. Well, at least miss a few. Make it a fight. it is completely wasted time. It really is, and I'm just gonna skip straight past it because it's just not a good sequence. Again.
But she tells him to jetpack back. It's his fastest way to go. So he takes off and takes out a few stormtroopers. We get a Wilhelm scream, which you need to have, obviously. Yeah, and him jetting up and like taking out the 3 guys at the top, I think was kind of fun. And then jumping off the cliff, Superman style. He even did the superhero landing when he came out the top.
Yeah.
Eugene, what's in 250 rubles? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I doubt it has anything to do with Snoke. Otherwise, it would be most sequel moment since Yak Face's intro in Chapter 9. P.S. Got 50% salary boost, but you won't see the results in Super Chats for a month. Well, I mean, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Happy for you. That's awesome.
And when you can, if you want to support, that's up to you. We don't make anybody do anything, but thank you. We appreciate that.
Here either way. That's great, though. I mean, hopefully you'll see something for Christmas, so you can have a nice Merry Christmas. And I think all of you should make extra effort out of a good Christmas. All of you should make extra effort out of a good Christmas this year, because I think we all need. I know I'm doing a multiple day make an effort sort of thing. And guys, Stuart, I've got a positive note. 99 likes. It sped up there without us even noticing.
Ooh. One more for 100? That's easy.
But set a goal so they can beat it.
115. We can get that because 130 people here. I think we can easily hit 115.
And we reminded people we've got 5 more.
Yeah, and another $40 would be great. Another 50 would be even better. If we can do a couple $10, $5 super chats, whatever, we'd really appreciate that. So, yeah.
But the jetpack was cool. I liked them trying to fix it, etc. I guess I just don't know how to.
Yeah. Then they're trying to find a way to escape, and she decides to use the transport, which is great.
And this is a great little moment because the stormtroopers that come out, they just use all their dialogue from New Hope. It's the same lines, same actor. They just pull the old audio files.
Yeah.
It sounds good though. It shows they did record on a good 35mm at the start, but it's like, it's just that's weird. The original voice clips of the original stormtroopers. Maybe they're the same guys from Death Star 1 that escaped, and now they've been
Well, earlier in the hallway, they're also saying stuff like, that something needs fixing. Da 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 da. Yeah, we'll get right on that. Like there's just everyday dialogue,
which is good. Yeah.
Yeah. The Sporkmeister, $2. Moff Gideon plus Force equals better dark saber fighting.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah, so they all hop in, and they were going to go through the thing again, and then the doors closed. So they turn it around, and they're like, "You're not gonna, are you?" And yes, she takes the thing right off the edge and lands on the poor guy's speeder.
Which I saw coming. I saw it either blowing up or whatever, but it was still fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I... At first thought, I wouldn't think that these would be capable of doing that. Even the speeder bikes jumping off like that. Like, yeah, I know they kind of hover, so once they hit a certain distance from the ground, but I wouldn't be jumping off this stuff with these kind of things. It's not the first thing I would think of,
Well, and as we see, it's a bad idea. Several of them get killed instantly, and that
yeah,
I thought was horrible. I mean, because they hit each other, like they kill each other. It's very much like Empire Strikes Back in the asteroid field. Oh no! And also they're so CGI. I thought their movements were really unrealistic.
Yeah,
they didn't look good. Like, they look good, but they didn't look good. They look great in still motion, not so much. Not so much.
Well, except for the one part where they get to the bottom, and the one biker, I love it because it's almost like a real biker. They put their foot down on the ground to help with the turn, and then they put it back up. Like that was actually really well done.
Yeah. But I can see the bigger troop transport being able to make that jump because the repulsor lifts are so much stronger.
Yeah. And
it would have been fun to see these guys do an epic move or two to be able to get down. But it's kind of glossed over. Like they both can and can't do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this chase is so underwhelming. It's like they don't shoot their main guns, and the other guy shoots his guns.
No, they were shooting their main guns. The speeder bikes had a few shots off with the like
Okay,
we see in Return of the Jedi.
but I guess it
The
didn't
thing that
work. Huh.
this was actually more interesting than the TIE fighter chase later. And the thing that I really hate, when the good guys have a lock on and they fire, it's boom boom hit.
Mm-hmm.
TIE fighters get to lock on, fire, 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 miss, 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 miss. It's like, what the? Why? Don't show you got a lock on then. Show them firing, trying to get a lock on. I've been playing Star Wars Squadrons now, flying TIE fighters, and so I really appreciate those shots of the inside the TIE fighter thing. But goddamn, when you get a lock on, why do they always miss? It really bugs me.
Well, not just
Don't
that.
show a lock on that.
It's not just that. I believe the ships actually have an internal sensor that says they're locking on, and so when you know being locked on, you should move. So these speeder bikes, I'm being locked on. I'm dead now. Like that's the moment you move, and that's where the good piloting of Carl's character. You know, he can shoot. He can guess where they go, and then shoot there like that. Yeah, it underwhelming. I mean, it looks nice. It's fun to see in general. But 3 characters in a little set that don't really feel like they're part of the outside. The fact that there's no window pane, they shoot through the cockpit feels absolutely pathetic, and it just And again, like throw a thermal detonator. Use your main guns. Why are you? This is not a good plan. You're not good officers. Like there's no tension here, and even the end, like I didn't mind the bit, but bomb it already. Bomb it already, for God's sake! Like you're not impressing us.
He's trying to walk with the thing moving too. Like that's why he didn't throw. I did like that they split up because they went off his scope and he couldn't see them. And then the one gets smushed against the rock face while the other one climbs on.
Yeah.
And then him even looking like still like where the hell? And then he turns it forward and there's the guy with the thing.
It's a fun idea, but
I liked this part. The speeder bikes was good. The TIE fighters not so much. The TIE fighters, 4 of them coming. Why? First of all, why are you all following the goddamn thing? What? 2 of them should at least take off and try to go the other way and meet them head on at the exit. 2 of them, sure. 1 maybe follow them through the canyon. 1 stay above the canyon.
For the TIE fighter, you mean, or are we on a different scene?
For the TIE fighter.
Yeah. It looked great, them lifting off. That was a beautiful bit of CG.
Oh, yes. And the 4 of them coming in looked really impressive. But why all 4 of them are chasing them through the canyon, I don't know. As if I was in charge of a 4 TIE fighter squadron, 1 of them chase you through the cavern, 1 stay above the cavern, keep shooting, and 2 of them bugger off full speed, get to the edge of the cavern and wait. Yeah. Just it's stupid Imperial tactics. And the whole we're showing we have a lock on, fire, boom, 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 miss. Really?
And also felt every time Carl shot the canyon, but it was so far away from any TIE fighter. Like it was never remotely gonna hit one. I was like,
it was a good strategy though. I like that. Like maybe knock off a big chunk of canyon onto a TIE fighter.
But you had to do that for you had to make that work on 1 because they don't say it and it doesn't work, and so it feels like he's missing 6 or 7 times. It's a really bizarre.
Well, she even says, "What's going on back there?" And he's like, "Do you want to come back and try this yourself?" Like it's harder than it looks. So
yeah,
I thought that was kind of good.
Again, these were good in concept, just not well executed. Any of them. And it's odd because these guys should know exactly what is needed to take out this. This is their vehicle. Like, will these blasts work? Yes or no? If yes, keep shooting. If no, do something else.
You think you should just have like a prefix code, like on Starfleet ships. Just activate the code and blow it up. Don't even worry about. If it gets stolen by rebels, which happens all the time.
Every time, Stuart. They get built, they get stolen. They get built, they get stolen. The only ones they get to keep are the ones that return to them. And like we said about the strategy, these things are faster than the speeder. They're spaceships.
Yep.
They are faster. They should zoom forward and then shoot because then the turret can only go 1 direction. It's a lazy fight, and the fact that it keeps coming to them in this very small set, that's just a cheap, simple, claustrophobic. I mean, the TIE Fighter guy was nice to see, but that's not going to win that many awards. So yeah, it's another okay. The thing is, like the TIE Fighter fight at the end of the first season was great, so creative. This is just dull, beyond dull.
I didn't mind the cramped space of the transport because it was very much like a tank crew inside a tank for World War II movies.
Yes.
There's no room in there, and yeah, to get that claustrophobic feel from it. So I liked that. It felt like a World War II kind of thing. So that didn't bother me at all. I
And they
thought that
just
was actually very clever use of a set.
things.
But
I would agree if there was good character dialogue to make those bits interesting. There was nothing. It
But
was
how much dialogue are you going to have in a battle like this? You're trying to get the fuck out of there. The fact that she said, what are you doing back there? And the whole, well, do you want to come try this? I mean, that's kind of like the actual dialogue that would be said in that situation. You know?
I mean, I guess I would have given them more of a lead up. Like let them go further away, let them fill a plan. Maybe even see like a guy at the base saying, "Well, I guess the base blew up," but maybe have one of the TIE fighters talk to each other and say, "You cut them off, you this," and they're all like interacting, and maybe like the guys in the tank thing are actually saying, "Oh, we're gonna listen to their communications because it's all the same frequency, and we can admit they're stupid." Just there's things you could do. This episode was 20 minutes too short.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the quality extra snaz was just not there. And then all of a sudden, Stuart, even though he just left like 5 minutes ago, Razor Crest comes and saves them.
Before we just save... Oh, I was going to say, before we save the day, we got 2 super chats.
Excellent, to save the day.
Martin Jorgensen puts in Krona, 45. Thank you. The cannon fodder nature of stormtroopers in this show is reaching ridiculous levels. It is ruining the tension. Yes, absolutely.
It was ironic how the grungy troopers in the first season, because you thought, ooh, they're more like less regimented, more kick-ass maybe. Like they had more tension than just clean troopers. And they're Danish Krona. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
And Ninja says, I don't like this episode. I don't like lots of things, but it's still a fun ride, but everything could be done better. Yes. That's the problem. Yeah. It's like a low-end interior. Like it's basically this is a J.J. Abrams Mandalorian episode. Low thought, good action, but you don't think about it. Yeah, it's just a J.J. style thing.
Yeah. Not a banned account, $2.
Thank you.
16309 prefix code.
Is that the Reliant, I assume?
Yeah.
Hey, good man.
Yeah, but then the Razor Crest swoops in. It looks like it's fully restored back to perfect condition.
Same day.
Which, we're pretty sure is within a couple of hours.
Yep.
And when we saw it land, the door was jittery, like the door was shaking. There's panels and they even say it's post-imperial or pre-imperial ship, right? That's one of its things that they've said a few times. It's like my car, my Camaro. If I take it in to get fixed, it's not going to get fixed super fast because those parts are sometimes hard to find for older cars now. Same with the ship, you would think, right? Anyway.
Yeah. It would have been really fun if it was barely holding together and he had to fly it well. It was immaculate and beat them easily. And you're thinking, what?
Yeah.
Again, no tension filled. It's a dull fight.
And no real sense of how much time has passed because it literally feels like it's about 4 hours since he showed up, and they went straight there and
not just that, Mandalorian, I guess his jetpack is faster than the speeder because he managed to jetpack the entire distance quicker, get the child, get to the ship, do the ship, scan where they are, go back, fly back, and be ready in about less time because they hadn't got to the place yet.
The thing just exploded. So within 10 minutes, he jetted back, did all this, and got back.
Yeah. And they had 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
And it's fixed.
And the fact too that he comes in flying from behind them. If he was coming at them, it would make more sense because that's where the town is, way the hell over there.
You should have a great sequence where it's zooming and then you go, it's the Razor Crest. Where? And like a camera zoom, it's really far in the distance, and he's like pushing the engines up, and the ship's just straking because they push it full throttle, and then it's this big shot of them zooming towards each other, and then they shoot the tank and it starts spinning because it's been damaged, and then he does a maneuver he gets at the nick of time.
Or he's shooting from far distance, just his targeting scope and a little target. And it's like they're just barely missing because it's such a long range.
And he ends up damaging the ship in the battle again, which would have been fun, like a third time in a row, but saving them. It's a not.
the whole him flying off at the end, like I've got some internal maintenance to do because Baby Yoda threw up on himself. That's what he was talking about. But him just taking off was dumb. The ship should have not been completely fixed yet or got damaged again. But then the following scene where, we've successfully put the tracker on board. I mean, that could still work. That could still play out because it needed to go back for repairs anyway, right? So, but you get some cool shots of the going up, killing this TIE fighter, and then falling and going down and shooting the other TIE fighter, which are really well done. And poor Baby Yoda's like, yeah! And then
that was cute.
Throws up, which I thought was funny.
I laughed at that. Because you definitely do that as children.
And he Mandalorian just uses his cape thing to like wipe it up. Like, right.
Yeah. And yeah, just the fact that the things were locked on, and I was expecting it to be hit, smoke damage.
But you're right. I mean, I'm looking at the Mandalorian in his pilot seat, and he looks a lot beefier than he used to. Yeah. I don't know if it's just the outer, like the uniform, but the clothes he has on underneath the armor that are padded out. Yeah, because he looks bigger.
He was thin in the season 1. He's a chunky lad now, and we know Pedro wasn't in the suit most of season 1. So, but then you get the team saying thanks, and he just leaves.
Yeah, thanks for nothing. Well, he's like, "What do I owe you?" It's like, well, I think you've paid it back.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And then you get Kim from Kim's Convenience came back, Mr. Kim. Felt a bit odd though. I was like, oh, hey again.
And I want to point out too, somebody made a point of this. Yeah. The one X-wing that was used two episodes ago was actually Luke's X-wing. It's got the same spiral blue stripe on the one gun, and it's got the same. You can't really see the number for the Red 5 or whatever, but it's got the same spiral stripe on the one gun, and the other gun has the yellow. So hold on, let me see if I can get the this where they're landed here, if we can see it.
I mean, there is an R2 unit. I mean, we never see Dave Filoni, so so you're saying Luke lent his X-wing to these pilots of no-name pilots?
No, they just used Luke's asset, like the
from Force Awakens, because Daisy used it.
Where is it here? It's not one of these ones because this doesn't have the blue spirals on it. One of the top guns when the two X-wings engage the Razor Crest, the one closest to the camera in the one shot, it's got the blue spiral on the gun, just like Luke Skywalker's does. So,
I mean, it would be the same 3D model, which I'm sure they used for Rogue One first, and then reused for Force Awakens, Last Rise of Skywalker, and then reused here. I mean, it's a beautiful asset. Why would you? It's probably as good as you can make it. But this scene was fun, although it's weird to see a pilot be like Mr. Lawman in a bright orange jumpsuit.
Well, they're stretched thin. That's the point. They're out on the outer rim, and that's kind of the thing.
Well, and since these ships are light speed capable, like every officer is an officer. But you know what I mean? It's still weird, slightly odd feeling. But he's good in this, and he says, we could use a soldier like you, and she's like, nah, it's okay.
Well, before that, though, I like how he says, how long after the Razor Crest jumped? I didn't say anything about a Razor Crest. Like, he's trying to trick him into getting information. And the transponder log says, hey, the transponder log, come on, give me a break. The control droids can't tell anything pre-Empire. Again, pointing out that the ship is old.
Yeah.
This isn't Coruscant.
Yeah. So. No, it's fun.
But yeah, the whole... Did you lose anybody? We find out she's from Alderaan. She lost everybody, apparently.
That was a good thing. I liked that. That was a good moment. Yep. That was strong.
And there's something going on out here. The core worlds don't believe it, but there's something going on out here, something weird.
Yeah.
We could use a lot of any good people. And he puts the thing down as a reminder that, you were a rebel once.
And is that a medal?
It seems to be. I don't think it's a transponder or a beeper or a pager or anything, but I think it's just remember, just in case you feel like it, we need help. So
because he said I was out. I fought the first Death Star because that's where Alderaan was. He was an old officer. So I from the context I thought I got this medal for being in that fight. I'm giving it to you because you lost everything at the first Death Star. Fight,
maybe.
And you've done a good job here. You deserve this. I got that sense. It's really it's a symbolic thing, but that's what I got from it. So I thought the direct connection because he was there. It's like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we get what looks like for a second the Millennium Falcon.
Oh.
Beryllian freighter. And I love it's not a big Star Destroyer. It's one of the smaller ones that Moff Gideon's on, so I like that.
From the Clone Wars, and it's a good looking 3D model. It looks like a miniature.
Yeah.
It's simple paint scheme, and this I thought would be we're gonna get an end. We finally got a spaceship, basically a real spaceship, something chunky, and I did quite like this lady. She's like mean. She's not a happy camper.
Ninja Chris 77 says it has dots. It's probably a transponder to contact them. Dots make the hologram. My thoughts. I mean, it could be, but I didn't get that feeling. I thought it was more symbolic. Like, yeah. Like I like your explanation because he did say I served at Alderaan, and
because I might keep my, most sacred medal thing with me because I'm sure they're like tags of justice, whatever.
But this lady. This Imperial officer, she seems too young for this role. I thought that at first, and then I thought, wait a minute. The Empire's kind of going downhill at this point. So pushing people through the ranks might be fine. But it just seems like she's somebody's niece that they're like, oh, we'll get you on the show. Don't worry.
No, I actually really liked that. Because, I mean, that was part of the expanding universe. Like, these people should not be in the charge they do because we have so few talent. I mean, everyone can be a stormtrooper. Not everyone can command stormtroopers, but I think I got the sense she's a fanatic, and they picked her as like, oh, Gideon's like you girl, you get a rank. She's like, but I'm only 21. Oh no, you kill people. I gotta give you a rank. So I like she had good presence for what small time she had, and then we had opening the doors, and everything was bloody out of focus. Everything's always out of focus. Damn it, give me focus. Jesus Christ.
But we learned that there's a tracking device put on the Razor Crest. Does he still have the asset? Yes. Our source confirmed it.
Very Star Wars of them.
Then we will be ready. And I don't know what these are. If they're just Death Trooper armor or what.
So you
I've heard Dark Trooper.
Yeah, that's a classic one from the Expand universe.
Yeah.
So there's a side view, but the thing is, and you'll see on the stream, they look like Cylons.
Yeah.
Their helmet just looks like a Cylon, and their chest plate looks like a Cylon. All I kept seeing was Cylons, black Cylons. And it's back Cylons in Borg alcoves. That's what this was, with Klingon lighting. Seriously, they're so unlike... They do not speak of what they're trying to speak. They should have every other vibe. It's weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it's explained well in the next few episodes, I can give it a little more slack.
Well, it has to be, because obviously this is the real plot. And there's a lot of them. But to only mention one volunteer, this feels over much, Like one armor, and I get twitch, or, something smaller but more impressive. Because stormtroopers don't matter. What makes you think these all matter? Because, is Mr. Mandalorian going to be able to beat 21 Dark Troopers with Force powers? Is that what we're trying to say? Or is this going to fail and not mean anything? Or is Ahsoka going to win, in which case Mandalorian's not doing anything?
Well, I think Baby Yoda's going to step up to the plate and use the Force at some point to defeat some of these things. So, and that control thing that's in the middle of the room, I don't know what it is, but it looks like a garbage can. It's like, why put that there and have it look like that? It just looks like a regular trash bin. It's like, really?
It was a very underwhelming art design here. It was not an impressive end, and I was really blown away by how not blown away I was. I don't know what they're doing. It's really strange. But you got the concept art, which is nice. Which was nice. Concept art
I love getting the concept art because it's just so beautiful. It doesn't always match what they finally did, but I mean, it looks good still. So,
and it gives you more clear indication of what their vision was. Well, look at his bloody jetpack. Doesn't look anything like his jetpack.
No.
I like the school was replaced with an android rather than a human. That took effort.
Nope, that was appreciated. I like that the protocol droids, to see them pop up every once in a while is good. So, yeah. Well, guys, I mean, another $40 again still would be good. Another 30 is really where we...
Yeah.
Is what I want to say, but no, obviously more than that's good. But
some fives, some 102 people, 118 likes. Let's see 35 in fives. Put your scores in out of 10, and let us know. Seriously, are you losing the plot with this? Is it still grabbing you? Do you not care about the overall story? do you just like the episodic? I mean, my dad was saying how if you are just a Star Wars fan, just living in the universe is good enough. Which I do agree, but they set up the expectations from episode 1, which they've never fulfilled. If they hadn't, it would have been better. You know?
So anybody that super chats or scores, I'll read those. All the non-super chats, Samuel will read. And let us know, guys, if you want us to continue these reviews, because I've been discouraged over the last little while for Star Wars stuff, especially our holiday special one was just so discouraging because we usually have a lot of fun. And
it was drunk, but it wasn't. You had the option to make us drunk, and no one made us even tipsy.
Yeah, so I'm just concerned that Star Wars just isn't grabbing people, and if it's not, then we can't afford to really spend the time to do it, unfortunately.
As you said, if we did a Discovery topic, we'd have 250 people, and we have triple the super chats. So this is a choice.
Yeah, easily triple the super chats, and that's one of the. Unfortunately, that's we'd love to just do this for the fun of it, but.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We can either entertain 100 people or entertain 250 people. I mean, that's where's the logic in this one? So I think next one will be our last try. Turn up for that one, guys, if you want. It might be the best one ever. Hopefully you guys will turn up. If not, we might have to just do a 5-episode season, or 3, do 3 and 3 or 2 and 2, or just do. I'm sure we'll do the end of the season. We want to talk about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, even TNG's get more, Stuart.
Yeah, TNG reviews get a lot more. But then again, we are known for Star Wars more than anything else, or Star Trek more than anything else. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, anywho, so no, this was a fun one for me. I really enjoyed it. I love seeing Cara Dune again and Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers, whatever. I don't even know his character's name. But seeing them again was fun. It's a good mix of cute Baby Yoda stuff with not really, he's neither here nor there at this point, but the little cute stuff that does happen is fun for me to watch. So, good action. I thought the chase was fun. The 3 speeder bikes I thought was good. The TIE Fighter's not so much, and then the lack of consistency for how much time has elapsed really concerned me. Like, there should have been at least an overnight discussion talking about the base, instead of go to the school, from the school to talk about the mission, then be on a speeder. There should have been a night scene in there at least to show that at least it's been 12 hours, like overnight, because they could be working on the ship all night. That would make a lot more sense than what we got. It just visually didn't tell any amount of time, and it just seemed like literally 4 hours had passed. So that would have been nice, just one scene of nighttime. Other than that, there's not a whole lot here because it was quite a short episode, and a lot of shooting, a lot of action-y bits, but hopefully it does pay off for the next episode and or the rest of the season. As a result, I'm going to get an 8.5 out of 10 because I really enjoyed this one. The rewatchability factor is there for me. Like I said, I like seeing Cara Dune, and for multiple reasons.
I don't know if I was doing
it's a rewatch.
Was I doing scores for these or not? I think I must have been. Yeah, okay, I was. Yeah. Oh.
I'll give it an 8.5 because this was fun to watch. So, I don't know what else to say. I just wish that they spent a little more time as far as developing.
Well, spent more time.
How much
Literally.
How much time had passed? Yeah. Like I said, just one scene of overnight. Having the discussion of the base be at night. It's like, okay, yes, it's been a whole night now.
Or it takes a day to get to the base.
Yeah.
Would have been hard for the second half, obviously, but... And so just to clarify, this is your joint second favourite.
Yeah, for this season.
Nothing's below a 7.5 currently, which is real high.
Well, yeah.
See, I think this is pretty not rewatchable. I think this one's not. I think the first one's very rewatchable. The spider one's not at all. And this I would consider not very rewatchable. Like, it has one twist, and then everything else is like, it's fine. Like, it's a like, is Force Awakens rewatchable? Well, you watch it once you've had enough, This is very J.J. Abrams.
The problem is, though, like I've said multiple times, even for Star Trek, it's, for me, the enjoyability factor. And I love seeing Cara Dune. I love seeing that interaction with her. And
well, she didn't get enough. She was kind of just there.
She didn't, and I hope she's in the season more.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just one episode, like one and done kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I like seeing them back together. So
Yeah, it's as if they loved the idea of the character, but wanted to just make her part of the action. Because really, she didn't do anything specifically characterful. Even though she was headed up 3 scenes, they were actional. She didn't actually say anything really.
Yeah.
Like she had so much character in her other appearances. Like she really won us over, but she was part of the furniture here, and a good part of furniture. And also the Sporkmeister says, always love to hear the Trekyards views on Star Wars, but I admit I mostly watch Trekyards for my love of starships rather than TV plot reviews. But thanks for coming along anyway.
Yeah.
So
well,
we are
give me
$10 away, Stuart, from a goal. So thanks
Yeah.
for jumping in, guys. But 10 more, then we are good. So yeah, for me, like I say, it is fun enough first watch, but it does let itself down and just shows the show is slipping. Honestly, the first season was lightning in a bottle. They're not able to recapture. It was a special thing that they haven't been able to. It's not as good as it was. They're just padding the story too far. They haven't got enough story. They're obviously not using their budget effectively enough. The Mandalorian man has very little character in this episode. He's basically not even there. It could be anybody, literally anybody helping them. There's nothing unique there really. The first scene was wasteful. The car scene was good, but could have been better. Carl and her are good acting in it, and the base is fine. But it was like with the Christmas special. Everything was a missed opportunity. Everything could have been done better. And so it's like it was a great premise, but this episode felt like there was no passion involved. You know, like it was a great script, and they had to then rush it to finish. They couldn't like really do it justice. Like all the scenes in between were cut because they had no time. So all the scenes, like say overnight, or where he's rescuing Baby Yoda, you get a fun scene, or where he's doing more Force stuff, or where Kara doing is helping someone else, or you know, or the blue, you know, everything was cut that had real substance. Like they were told to make it short for some reason. Like I'd love to see the original script. I think it would be better than what ended up being. This was like something happened and they had to like cut it short. But that said, though, direction-wise, it was well directed by the actor. Nothing wrong with his direction, and you can tell he's having fun in it. I like his direction to the actors to be positive. Nothing wrong with his directing. That's not the problem. It's more the script. They don't have control of the script. So for me, this is better than the Spider episode. It's more enjoyable than last week, but last week had more interesting things in it, but also had more boring stuff in it. Does that make sense? Like the stuff with the lady, with Keisaka was like, oh, this is interesting, but oh, is that all? Oh, okay. Whereas this one was like, oh, the more interesting normal plot, but still it was very similar. Not much happened, but at least we got some more Baby Yoda stuff in context. But the end need to be really like the gut punch of Boba Fett. The end, you know.
Yeah.
A gut punch of a thing, and it was like a little slap. Here you go.
There's not a lot of meat on the bones. Like there's a lot of structure there that could be built on, but it just feels like there's just not much substance to it. You know.
So I'm gonna say this is a 7.1.
Oh, nice! I didn't know we could do 0.1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, just because I'm looking at my scores, last week was 7, and the first episode was 7.5. So it's not better than the first episode. It's better than last week.
Gotcha.
So I'd be consistent. 7.1, which is not bad, guys. But this is definitely a binge show, and don't think about it too hard. This is not a maintaining a week-on-week schedule.
Yeah, this is definitely a binge show. I do agree with that. It's like 2 movies strung together, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be watched in one sitting.
Yeah.
All right, so Tenshi2K7 throws in $2 with a 7.5 out of 10 for this episode. Please continue to do these. Well, we'll see.
Well, you guys are slowly helping us put up a super chat. So if we can get on 15, we'll actually reach a sort of goal. But that's up to you guys. But definitely make next one very well.
Yeah. Scott Purdy, £2. Predictions for next episode. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yep.
Commander Eddington, good name.
Oh no.
$5.
Thank you.
He didn't put in a comment, but then I do say that he said, where is it here? Forgot to type in my message from Super Chat. Just wanted to show some Trekyards love. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
We do feel love. Thank you.
Scott Purdy, £2. Looking at the map, Very far to jetpack. Yes, exactly. Again,
I mean, it's probably dozens of miles.
yeah. And does it have enough fuel for that? Anyway,
Well,
plus you got to land.
Star Wars doesn't have fuel until the
You got
one
to
movie was all about fuel.
you got to land at your ship. Ask them, is it finished? All right, cool. Thanks. I'm gonna go grab the baby.
Well,
Go to school. Say, hey, I'm gonna grab this little guy. Bye.
just the biggest problem is that that speeder tank should be much faster than the jetpack. I know he's thinner and I know he's lighter, but it's a jetpack. It's not a fast military vehicle, you know.
Yeah.
So if that's faster, well, it can't be. So he can outrun him. You know, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. Tangerine Star 26, 5 pounds. 50-minute plus episode would help the most, filling in character and story beats. But happy to see good Star Wars and story unfolding with mystery and anticipation. Yeah. No, it's even when the Mandalorian's not great, it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I really enjoy about it.
And that's the thing about episode. I think I'm just expecting too much. I should stop expecting a good story. Just enjoy the ride. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's not good TV. It's just good Star Wars. But you know.
Yeah.
But I think episode 1 was such a good balance though. It was long. It was drawn out, but had so much character, so much acting, so much story, so much. But this is just missing it. This show needs that story padding at 15-20 minutes. Without it, it is hollow.
Yeah, and I gotta say, our audience, our community is great because Bill23799 says, "Sorry, I'm poor. I can only click like."
Oh.
And then Tenchi2K7 puts in $5 and copies Bill's comment from earlier. I wonder if this episode they were making the episode without Pedro in it at all, just added his voice after. I mean, it's a distinct possibility. And the fact is, you don't know when he's in the suit. Like, there's like 2 other stuntmen that took turns for season 1, which could explain also the bulkiness of him. But
well, because the fact he's in it, the character feels like he's in it so little. I really can't remember any contribution he had to the story, really. And so yeah, this might have been one they said, well, I don't know. Yeah, when we filmed it and see if we can get his voice in after. If not, we'll have him say very little. Like, he's meant to be a character in the story, guys. You know? And we are halfway through the season, so if that whole rumor thing was correct, this is halfway through now. So that would make sense. We're now starting to see that if it was a problem.
Yeah, and these are based on like the old Kurosawa stuff and like the Man with No Name, the westerns and stuff as well, which they didn't have a lot of dialogue. The main character, it was very much like a man of mystery, you know. So I like that the Mandalorian's not always talkative. Like
yeah.
It follows the character, what the character would be like, kind of a solitary, quiet guy. So that doesn't really bother me at all. But
well, the thing is, the first episode was exactly right. He spoke some, not a lot. He had character, but not a lot. He was part of it, but not fully. Like, that was a brilliant balance for him saying stuff.
I'm trying to remember what the first episode of the series, or just the season.
Fighting the Crate Dragon. He's off doing stuff. He's talking to him. He's engaging. He's saying little, but it's important. Like, that was a great balance.
And that was like a 52-minute episode. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Well, as for predictions for next week, I mean, they're going to find. It's directed by Dave Filoni. Next one, 50+ minutes. Apparently, Ahsoka's in it. So I assume they're going to find her, and hopefully, we'll learn something about Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to predict because we don't get a next time on, and basically kind of where the story's going, but. I don't know what else to say, really.
I feel like this is going to be the season where the payoff is so good, doesn't matter if the setup was crap. The opposite to Discovery, season 2. Like, it's going to ramp up into something really epic, but they've had to be cheap on the front end to afford the back end. You know? Like, we don't need to... I would rather see Ahsoka and have an epic lightsaber fight, which will take... which I'm fine with. Because I'm not going to watch these 4 again. Maybe the first one again. I'm not going to watch these 3 again. They're not interesting enough to me. But,
I will.
Yeah.
Bill 23799. Pedro's main gripe is he wants to show his face. They should show him speaking from inside the helmet sometimes. Problem solved. Like Iron Man style.
Yep.
It's interesting.
The problem is, why would you take on a character that can't show his face if you like? You shouldn't have accepted the role then.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting paid lots of money for just being a voiceover artist. Like, you get credit for it, you know. But that said, I'm surprised they aren't doing scenes with him in his bunk where he takes the helmet off.
Well, see, that's the thing.
As long as he's alone, he can have his helmet off.
That's what I thought about this one early on when he's having his soup with Yoda in the ship. I didn't want somebody on my ship with me the whole time if I could. Oh.
Sorry, there you
Hold
go.
on.
Welcome back.
That's okay. I almost want him to get rid of Baby Yoda for a few episodes, be on his own, be solitary, and have him in his ship with his helmet off.
And just underpants.
Because that would work fine.
Just everything off. Just
well,
like...
no. I'm not interested in that. I'm not weird like you in that regard.
Mandalorian bulge to it. Mandalorian bulge. It's not a speech. It's a creed. You know, he's had to train himself.
Everybody freaked out about the boob armor, so why does he have a cod piece? Yeah, that was a big. I got all ranty last night because of that. But anyway,
you know how there's always been boob armor because.
Yep.
So shut the hell up. It's always been.
Yep.
Go away. Yeah. Except on Cara Dune, but she doesn't get shot, so. And she's not really wearing armor. She's wearing a jacket with metal on it. It's different. I mean, Pedro could easily have his helmet off. Just go to the cockpit, put Baby Yoda in while sleeping, goes in the cockpit, takes it off, done. Like, I'm surprised we don't see the character more.
As in I am too.
Like, you could easily do it, easily. Have him talk to himself, have him relive memories. But the thing is, they don't want to give him too much character, which is weird. Because if you see his face, you start to connect with him. You know. But yeah, I would have thought it'd be an easy fight to win, honestly.
Ninja Chris 77, that might happen. I actually have a feeling Baby Yoda will get kidnapped soon, and the Mando and Ashoka have to save him from Moff. Here's a prediction, I guess. That's a great one, actually. I would be fine with that. It'd be cool to see Mandalorian and her working together in tandem. I would be fine with that.
Yeah. All right, well, guys, last super chat, and we can call it quits for this review on episode 12 of The Mandalorian. I'm definitely excited for next week.
Yes. And if next week's really good and we get more people in the chat and stuff, we will review them all eventually, even if we have to do it in like a set of 2 or 3 at a time. But it's just for every Monday, like we could literally make triple this on a Monday talking about a Discovery topic.
For just another fun discussion,
Yeah. But Mandalorian Mondays just work so well, and thought we'd do it again. So.
It's also a nice, like, refreshing palate cleanser to about Star Wars.
Oh,
randomly.
Absolutely. And we're still passionate about it. We love this stuff. Next week, you got to remind me, though, Samuel, to share it in some Star Wars groups as well. So I think that's what I was doing last season, and I think that helps. So.
Great.
I was just sharing it in Trekyards and Fleetyards. So, the Doctor though throws in $5. Thanks, guys. This is the way. Well, thank you, Doctor. You have the last super chat slot as of right now. So.
And I've met Capaldi, and he was as nice as you'd like, as you'd think, and he recognized my costume instantly and had a smile on his face. So that was a good moment. My one moment with him, but it was a good moment. So.
Nice.
All right, so we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for a Discovery topic. We've picked it, but you'll find out later. And then Wednesday for our predictions, which I think will be a pretty interesting one. Thursday, obviously, Stuart's first reaction, and back on Discovery. And we are going to do one more Drunk Live before Christmas with the best trips of all time thing, which will be a smash success. So look out for that one as well. And tune in for more ship edited content coming out this week as well, where we filmed it. And if you have not yet watched, do go back and watch our breakaway successes. First look at Discovery on Saturday, 35,000 views. Our detailed breakdown yesterday, 34,000 views. And our Voyage J today, 12,000 views. Very happy with all of those. Extremely pleased.
And there's more ship stuff coming.
Yes, very, very happy with those.
Area 51 throws in $5, just a bit to help out. So thank you. Where was it? Bill 23799. Captain has sniffles. Putting my mask on. I don't have the sniffles at all.
In fact, your corona cough that was not a corona cough went away after 8 months, 5 weeks before coronavirus.
Just suddenly went away. So I'm
got
happy
it.
for that.
You lost it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's one bonus about not having outside be a part of the world that we have is that we haven't got colds this year. Like, we're not seeing anybody. We're not getting colds. And I hate colds. Like, it's been, in terms of, like, health, it's been probably one of the healthiest years. Because
everybody's washing their hands, sanitizing all the time. So it's like, yeah. Bill Barkley, are you doing Mando ship videos? I mean, we haven't seen anything new. We got an X-Wing video for our first episode of Trekyards. Go watch that.
we look a bit
We haven't really done the Razor Crest. We probably should at some point.
Yeah, we did something, but probably not really. I mean, yeah, they only use old canon stuff, which is great. But we're not going to review a troop speeder.
Because it won't get the views, guys.
Well, I wouldn't watch it either. I mean, sorry, it's not interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's some really cool new ship, maybe we'll talk about it, but we'll see.
Dark Troop. Oh, hey, I mean, Ahsoka could have a really cool new fighter.
There you go.
You know, Jedi fighter. Awesome sauce. Yeah. And then goes our immune system. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. 130. Oh, no, wait. One more like. Come on. 129. Come on, round up. One more like.
Ooh,
one more like. And you said 75, Stuart, so they have blown past that. I mean, if we got 140, it'd be double your prediction.
And John Thomas says, what is the Razor Crest? It's the Mandalorian ship.
It's a Firefly ship in the Star Wars universe.
It is this ship.
Yeah.
But Star Wars-ized. There it is right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't you glad I have a Firefly on my desk now? It's the QMX one.
Yeah, which I... Now, is it the one that's painted really weirdly bright? Or you went... Yeah, it is. Yeah, I bought that one. I bought it for over twice its value. I mean, its value is what I bought for it. But I was like, yes, I really want this, because it's the only miniature you can get.
There's my little Razor Crest. It's a 3D print.
I'm going to have a look at Razor Crest on Amazon. Well, I can buy the Lego one for £132 pounds. Because I would like a miniature of that Razor Crest. I can get one that's yours... Whoa.
You saw something cool.
Coming this week, 1/18th scale Razor Crest, 2 times their film miniature.
Whoa. How much?
Guess.
$2,000.
What? Oh, let me convert that. 1,800 American. Or
damn close.
Damn close. Oh, it's in the UK. And £74 a month for 2 years if you want to spend it that way. That's crazy.
Nice. Well, we hit our goals for likes, so that's awesome.
I mean, should we buy that, Stuart? Should we?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do a fundraiser for it.
Oh, so stupid. That's great.
Anyway, guys, until tomorrow or the next Mandalorian, if that's all you're watching for us for,
yes.
We'll see you then. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Coggins. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.